8 Steps to a Sustainable Future. We humans have unlimited appetites, but we live on a planet with limited resources. We already use more of Earth's renewable resources, such as forests, clean air, and fresh water, than nature can restore each year. And when the rate of consumption of a resource is greater than the rate at which it is replaced, the resource may become exhausted. Today, Earth's population stands at around 7 billion, and it is still growing fast. By 2050, there may be 9 billion people living on the planet. As a result, the imbalance between what nature replaces and what humans consume will probably continue to grow. So how will so many more people live on Earth without exhausting the planet? The key is sustainability, finding new and efficient ways of conserving resources so that we do not use them all up. Here are 8 steps to sustainability from around the world. 1. Sustainable communities. Sustainable cities and towns encourage residents to reduce their impact on both the local and global environments. Residents in Mbum, Senegal, for example, use solar ovens to cook food. By using energy from the sun instead of burning wood, people are saving trees for future generations. Communities in other places are using improved public transportation systems so that people do not use cars as much. In Curitiba, Brazil, city buses are frequent, convenient, and efficient, so 70% of the city's commuters use them. As a result, the city has little traffic congestion and cleaner air. 2. Safer production. As meat consumption grows, the environmental and health effects of producing meat grow as well. For example, the animal waste that results from raising animals for food can cause water pollution. In addition, farms that are close to city centres can increase the risk of dangerous diseases such as avian flu spreading. Some governments are using tax breaks to solve this problem. The government of Thailand placed a high tax on poultry farms that were within 62 miles, 100 kilometres, of its capital city Bangkok. As a result, many poultry producers moved away from the city centre. 3. Cleaner power. Sun and wind power are 2 energy sources that are renewable and that do not pollute the environment. Harvesting solar energy is an increasing trend. One method is via the use of photovoltaic cells, PVs, cells that convert solar energy to electricity. By 2017, PVs produced more than 300 gigawatts of power worldwide. Major solar energy producers include Germany, China, and the United States. Global wind power production grew by about 2,000% in the 15 years between 2001 and 2016, and it is still growing. As of 2016, China was the leader in wind power, producing over 168,000 megawatts of wind energy. The United States and Germany are also major wind power producers. 4. Social investment. People who practice socially responsible investing, SRI, buy shares in companies that focus on practices that are good for the planet, like cutting down on landfill waste and creating alternative energy. While SRI activity is most common in Europe and the United States, it is growing quickly in Canada and Australia too. There is also an increasing number of people in South Korea, Brazil, Malaysia, and South Africa who are practicing SRI. 5. Greener light bulbs. The popularity of LED, light-emitting diode light bulbs, has been growing quickly since 2001. This is because they use 75% less energy than traditional light bulbs and last 25 times longer. Currently, about 16% of all light bulbs sold are LEDs. However, by the year 2022, LEDs will make up 50% of the global market share. 6. Certified forests. Logging, the cutting down of trees, has several negative effects on the environment. For example, it can lead to water pollution and destroy animal habitats. In an effort to cut down on these effects, several countries are creating certified forests. When a forest is certified, the logging is regulated and done in a sustainable way. In West Virginia, USA, for example, loggers must get special training. Roughly 10% of the world's forests are certified. Canada has the largest areas, with about 410 million acres, 166 million hectares, of certified forests. 7. Green employment. About 10 million people around the world work in the renewable energy industry. This number has grown by almost 7 million in 10 years. 62% of these jobs are in Asia, but green jobs are growing in other countries too. Denmark, for example, produces a large number of the world's wind turbines, and the Kenyan government has invested more than $1 billion jointly with private companies to build solar power plants across the country. 8. Lower emissions. Carbon emissions continue to contribute to climate change. Since 1970, emissions from fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas have increased about 200%. However, some countries are committed to reversing this trend. Brazil, for example, has promised to emit 37% less CO2 by 2025, compared to 2005 levels. In addition, India and Nigeria are planning major reductions by 2030.